Let's cut through the noise and get brutally honest for a moment. The biggest issue most men face when it comes to women isn't about attraction, confidence, or even communication. It's confusion. It's the constant mental fog that leaves you second guessing everything. You're confused when she tells you she cares, then suddenly grows distant. You're thrown off when she gives affection one day and emotional coldness the next. You're left asking yourself what you did wrong, why she's pulling away, or how things shifted so fast. But here's a truth that most men never hear, and when you finally understand it, it flips your entire perspective. Women aren't built to make sense in the way you expect. They're not operating from a system of logic and consistency like you are. Women are designed to feel, to flow through emotions, to be moved by energy more than reasoning. That's not a flaw, it's part of their nature. But if you're still approaching her behavior like an equation to solve, trying to crack some emotional code with logic, you're going to spend your life in frustration, heartbreak, and emotional exhaustion. Once you stop expecting her to operate like you and start understanding her emotional nature, everything begins to click. The fog clears. You stop overreacting, and more importantly, you stop blaming yourself for things you were never meant to control. The first shift you need to make is this. Women speak from emotional truth, not logical permanence. When she says, "I love you," she means it, in that moment. When she says, "I never want to lose you," that's her truth right then and there. But that doesn't mean she's bound to that statement tomorrow when her feelings evolve. Her emotions are fluid, alive, always shifting. If you interpret every word she says as a permanent commitment, you'll always feel blindsided when her behavior doesn't match those words a week later. That's where most guys spiral. But the moment you realize her words reflect her present emotional state, not a long-term contract, you stop getting confused. You start observing instead of attaching. You begin to understand that your job as a man is not to mirror her every mood or chase every emotional swing. That's not what you're built for, and it's not what she wants. Your strength lies in stability, in being the anchor, not the wave. Most guys get hurt because they try to meet her emotional needs in real time, thinking that's what love is. But when you abandon your grounding to chase her storm, you lose yourself, and she loses attraction. The more you try to emotionally match her, the more chaotic the relationship becomes. But when you stop reacting and start leading, everything changes. Her mood swings don't shake you anymore. You don't panic when she pulls back. You don't cling when she becomes distant. You stay rooted, and that's when she begins to trust you on a deeper level, because you're no longer trying to fix her emotions, you're simply unshaken by them. Women crave the emotional experience more than the end result. That's why she might choose the guy who sparks desire over the one who offers her stability. It's not about what's safe, it's about what makes her feel alive. This is the reason so many good, dependable men get overlooked. They bring consistency, but not contrast. They offer safety, but not mystery. And when a woman isn't emotionally stirred, she starts to drift. Not because you failed, but because her emotions are her compass, not a straight line. If you're not moving her emotionally, she'll seek that movement elsewhere. And here's the kicker. She might not even understand why. Sometimes she doesn't know why she's suddenly distant. She can't explain why her feelings shifted. She's not hiding something. She's simply riding an emotional wave that even she can't predict or control. And if, in that moment, you respond with logic, pressing for answers, clarity, or explanations, you'll only push her further away. Because logic won't connect where emotion is running the show. Emotion doesn't answer to pressure, it responds to energy. And once you stop demanding verbal clarity and start observing patterns in behavior, everything becomes clear. Her words may flatter, confuse, or mislead, but her actions always reveal the truth. She says she loves you, but cancels plans and never makes time. That's your answer. She claims she's just unsure, but keeps going out, ignoring your texts and avoiding real connection. That's your answer. Stop waiting for clean explanations. Stop seeking emotional closure in conversations that lead nowhere. Watch what she does. That's the real story. Quick break. Close your eyes for a second. Picture her, the girl you've always wanted. Feel what it would be like to actually have her. Now open your eyes, because here's the truth. Right now, you're invisible to her. You're getting outcompeted by guys with more money, better looks, higher status, and stronger game. You're playing a rigged game, and you're losing, but I've spent the last 35 years mastering this, studying, testing, and finally finding the secrets to get the girls I always wanted. You want to stop getting ignored? You want her chasing you? Then you need to wake up and act. Click the link in the comments if you are truly committed and take the first step toward becoming that guy. Few spots left. Be fast or miss out your last chance to make her yours. Let's get back to it. Now here's a powerful truth. Women often test men without even realizing it. The cold responses, the emotional ups and downs, the delayed replies, many of these are unconscious tests to see how stable you are. Do you fold when she pulls away? Do you beg for reassurance? Do you lose yourself chasing her mood swings? If so, she loses attraction, not out of cruelty, but because what she's really looking for is emotional leadership. She wants to feel your grounded presence. She needs to know you're unmoved by her storms. The moment she senses she's leading the emotional dance, attraction fades. A woman's desire isn't built on how much you say you love her. It's rooted in how she feels about herself when she's around you. Be the man who creates that emotional gravity, not by overexpressing your feelings, but by standing firm in your own. That's leadership. That's what draws her in. One of the most common mistakes men make is overexpressing. They pour their hearts out, constantly telling her how much they care, how serious they are, how deeply they've fallen. But here's the truth. None of that lands unless she's already emotionally connected to you. Words only amplify what she already feels. They don't create those feelings from scratch. If there's no spark, no pull, your emotional honesty just feels like pressure. That's why leading with emotional confession is often a losing strategy. Instead, lead with your energy, your presence, your groundedness, your masculine calm. That's what registers first. That's what she responds to before a single word is spoken. Another trap men fall into is believing that consistency alone is enough to keep her. Consistency builds trust, absolutely. But trust without emotional variety breeds boredom. You can't keep showing up with the same script, the same energy, expecting her to stay hooked. She needs contrast. She needs to feel that sense of curiosity, the unpredictability that keeps her wondering, what's behind that? When she can read you like an open book, the story loses tension. But when you remain just out of reach, mysterious, composed, intriguing, she stays emotionally invested. That's not about playing games. It's about embodying depth. Women aren't confusing. They're just running on emotion, while most men are trying to operate strictly through logic. You're not meant to decode her like a system. You're meant to feel into her, like you'd feel into music. And when you treat her like a mirror, not a mystery, you start to understand what she's reflecting back to you. If you're anxious, needy, or constantly seeking reassurance, she'll feel that instability and begin to pull away. But if you're calm, secure, centered in who you are, she gravitates toward that energy. Not because you convinced her, but because you grounded her. Your steadiness makes her feel safe to soften. That's what feminine energy naturally responds to. So, if you want her to stop confusing you, start mastering yourself. Emotional leadership begins with emotional regulation, and here's something you've got to stop doing: believing her words over her behavior. Patterns tell you more than promises ever will. If she's hot and cold, always apologizing for flaking, saying she wants you but never showing up, that's not emotional depth. That's inconsistency dressed as passion. You might tell yourself she's just figuring things out, that she needs more time, that she has potential. But potential doesn't protect your peace. Patterns do. As a man, you have to stop falling for what could be and start standing firmly in what is. When her actions no longer align with the energy you require, it's not your job to fix her. It's your responsibility to walk. Not out of anger, not to manipulate, but because peace isn't something you beg for, it's something you guard. Here's a hard truth many men resist. A woman will never truly respect a man who needs her more than she needs him. That imbalance kills attraction every time. She doesn't want to be the center of your universe, the sun you endlessly revolve around. What she really wants is to be drawn into your orbit, into your world, your purpose, your life. When you stop chasing your goals for her, when you shift your focus away from your own growth to cater to her emotional needs, you become a burden, not a blessing. Over time, even if she doesn't consciously realize it, she'll feel the weight of that imbalance. She wants a leader in love, not a follower who folds under her demands or insecurities. If you want to stop being confused by women and their unpredictable moods, stop playing by their rules. It's time to set your own rules, your own boundaries, your own standards. You decide how you show up, what behaviors you accept, and what kind of energy you allow into your life. When you stop reacting to every emotional wave she throws at you and start leading with your own steady energy, that's when you become magnetic. That's when the games stop. That's when a woman doesn't just like you, she respects you deeply. Detachment from the outcome is essential. You have to be willing to lose her and still hold your power. The moment you start fearing losing her, you begin betraying yourself. You overgive, you over-explain, and you try to mold yourself into the version you think she wants. But in doing that, you kill the very essence of what originally attracted her. The man who doesn't chase, doesn't flinch, and doesn't overthink is the man who refuses to be confused. He knows her confusion is her own issue, not his mission to fix. A woman will never confuse a man who's deeply in tune with himself. When you live from internal validation instead of seeking external approval, everything shifts. You don't need her praise to feel worthy. You don't need her attention to feel important. You are already full, and from that fullness, you engage with her, not out of need, but out of genuine choice. You express interest, but you don't collapse if it's not returned. You're available, but not desperate, and in that space of self-respect and emotional mastery, confusion fades away. What takes its place is clarity, a clear, confident knowing of your value, your boundaries, and your power. If she ghosts, you let her go without hesitation or second guessing. If she's inconsistent, you calmly remove your energy without drama or begging for answers. If she's playing games, you stop playing back, not out of coldness or spite, but because you have true self-respect and you value your own emotional well-being. You don't punish her, you don't lecture her, and you don't chase after explanations. Instead, you simply pull back your attention, and that silence, it's more powerful than any argument or plea. It sends a clear message. You value yourself too much to settle for confusion and mixed signals. The ones who are truly meant for you will feel that energy and come back with more clarity and respect. The ones who don't, they were never really yours to begin with, and that's perfectly okay. Here's your new, unshakable filter. If it brings confusion, doubt, or emotional chaos, it's not for you. The right woman won't leave you guessing endlessly or keep you stuck in uncertainty. She may be emotional, yes, everyone is, but she will be consistent in her behavior and respectful in her intentions. She may have moods or moments of doubt, but she won't play mind games or leave you on an emotional roller coaster. She may test your boundaries to feel out your strength, but she'll also honor the lines you set. If you constantly feel drained, anxious, or unsure about where you stand, that's not love. It's emotional chaos disguised as connection. And as a man with purpose and self-worth, your energy is far too precious to waste on chaos. You don't fix chaos. You walk away from it and protect your peace. After today, confusion will no longer have a place in your dating life. You will stop trying to win over women who are indecisive or emotionally unavailable. You will stop decoding silence, making excuses, or forcing love from people who are not ready or willing to give it. Instead, you will watch for consistent patterns of behavior. You will lead with strength, presence, and emotional stability. You will stay grounded in your own value, and you will allow women to feel your calm, magnetic energy without needing to perform or prove yourself. You're no longer in the business of guessing or chasing. You're in the business of choosing wisely and confidently. Women themselves are not confusing creatures. What's confusing is trying to force commitment and clarity from someone who simply isn't aligned with you or ready to give it. What's confusing is expecting logic and reason from the fluid and often unpredictable realm of emotions. What's confusing is building castles on fleeting compliments, empty promises, or inconsistent actions, and calling it love. But now you see the truth clearly. You understand that a woman's emotions are not a roadmap or a guarantee. They are more like a weather report, constantly shifting, unpredictable, and sometimes stormy. But you remain the mountain, solid, steady, unmovable, unbothered, undeniably masculine. From this moment forward, there will be no more confusion clouding your heart or mind, no more chasing after those who pull away, no more over-explaining or bending yourself out of shape to be someone you're not. You are a man who leads with calmness, unwavering strength, and crystal clear clarity. You understand the emotional nature of women and you respect it, but you never allow it to control you or dictate your worth. And that shift, that unshakable emotional leadership, is exactly what stops the games, ends the confusion, and puts you in the driver's seat of your own life and relationships. This is the moment you stop getting played by mixed signals and emotional whiplash. This is the moment you stop overthinking every text, every interaction, every mood swing. This is the moment you become the man who no longer wonders what she's thinking or feeling because you are too busy becoming the best, most grounded version of yourself. You are no longer reactive to her waves. You are the calm sea beneath them. You don't chase validation, you embody it. You don't collapse when affection isn't returned. You hold your frame. You don't seek love from outside. You carry it inside. And that, my friend, is true unshakable masculinity. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. If this message spoke to you or gave you something to think about, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new drop. I've got more real talk, more growth, and more power coming your way. So stay locked in. And if you're going through something right now, just remember, your silence can say more than 1,000 words ever could. Take care of yourself, keep rising, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.